Hello, guys. Welcome to the FootyWit Football Talk Show. It's good to be back again. My name is Ehis Anthony, and we're talking Arsenal today. I have on the show with me Okwe. It's been a while. Welcome back.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
And also, Mustafa, what's up? How you doing now?
I'm good, my bros. How you guys doing?
First off, how you guys doing? Hope you're well. The
Yes,
weather,
yes, yes.
the Lagos weather has decided to turn chilly. Has decided to turn, cold. They call this August break. But I'm wondering why it is happening before August. Normally, it used to be
Mhm.
during August where you ain't going to see any sun.
Mm.
Everywhere would
Mhm.
just be dampy, cold, and rustling, breeze. But it started early in this July. I hope August will not be that hot when we get to August. But I like the weather though. I don't know. What's up? What about you guys?
It's
Yeah.
it's yeah, I like it. It's chilling. So
And
at
then
least not too
for
much
me, I
sun. The
like
weather
it.
is
But
chilling.
my only problem is, I think that there's something going on in the air. Like there's something viral going on in the air. Some people have
Yeah,
something going on with
yeah,
their
yeah. It's
throat
that
and
period
whatnot.
too.
So
Mm.
That period.
it's like it's
Cough,
mixed
catarrh,
feelings.
yeah. So a
Yeah,
lot of
it comes with it. I guess it comes with it. It comes with it. The cold weather comes with all this
yeah.
viruses and all that. And you get my daughter. She has cold for the past 3 4 days now, and she's been struggling with it. But despite several attempts to give her medication, I think the stuff is still there. We just have to wait for it to
Yeah, to
run its
clear
due
up by
course.
itself.
And
Yes.
yeah, just run its due course.
Yeah.
Now let's focus on the subject matter. Arsenal. The last time we were here, it was still on the Arsenal, you know,
I'm busy.
the window opening, and we saw Liverpool, we saw our rivals, getting locked in buying in players, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. But Arsenal, as at that time, Berta just got, Andrew Berta just resumed office, and Arsenal fans were not chilling at all.
Mm.
I just want to quickly segue to our last episode
Mm.
just to share Mustafa's take. And so we just hear what he's got to say. Just a few, I don't know. Let me just share it. So, and this was Mustafa's take.
Defenders behind a good 10, those chances will pull up. So for Shesko, I'm a Shesko fan, but I feel that if you want to sign Shesko, then we need to sign him and be okay. It's crazy, but I feel that that's the best thing we can do now. The reason is because he's younger. Obviously, it makes more sense for Arteta. It makes more sense for us now. He's younger, he has more years. Jokeris is about 27,
He
and I
just
think
got
Jokeris'
27.
wage is about 27 ahead. So I think Jokeris' wages is I think they're asking, according to what I saw, 300. It's crazy. When you want to do business and you need something. Right now, this season is the make or man season for Arteta going this new season. If he doesn't get it right, trust me, we the fans that like him and like his ideology or whatever it may be, he's going to get really really scolded. They're dragging their feet on a lot of things, and I hope that the reason why they are dragging is because probably they will just be giving us 4 or 5 signings back to back within a week, hopefully. And that another thing is because I would actually prefer if they make all the signings properly before the preseason starts. These guys have to actually integrate into the team. It doesn't make sense starting a preseason, going for whatever tour you're going for, then you come back, then maybe 2 weeks to the season comes, you now start announcing one striker or something. They're not giving him time. You need to.
So I'll just stop there. I think Mustafa had a crystal ball because he said he wanted Arsenal to just do the signing back to back. And truth be told, the signings came back to back, back to back. We all Arsenal fans, we were elated, we were happy, starting from the Zubimendi, Christian Nogard, then Madueke, which seems to be controversial. A lot of Arsenal fans didn't really go down well with them, and also the Mosquera deal, the Jokeres, and I think it's not stopping there because we know that there are more signings. Andrew Berta still has a lot of work to do in terms of selling, contract renewals, and the likes. But let me start with you, Mustafa. You quoted there we need to bring in a winger, a player that can play on both wings. I think Andrew
Yeah.
Berta heard you there and decided to bring Noni Madueke. So let's start from that stead. Noni Madueke, what's your take on that signing?
It's a good buy for us, to be honest. As a backup, not like he wouldn't start some games, but as Saka's backup, it's a very good signing. Madueke's strengths are one-on-one, dribbling. You understand? He takes on defenders. You need someone like that. Martinelli does it, but he does it with okay. I need a lot of space to run. You understand? Run down the flanks. Madueke comes to you to dribble and also create chances. He played against us years back when he was at PSV. He was Crystal was something else. I don't want to use that kind of word. It was something else. So, since then, he got to Chelsea. He had one or two shines, you understand, but it wasn't, you understand, on a steady beat because sometimes he wouldn't start. Sometimes, they'll give him like 3 runs of games and all that. But I feel that with Arsenal's style of play, our style of coaching, we will see better from him. That's what I feel. I feel we'll see better from him you know, because you can play on the left. Although I wouldn't want him to play on the left because I want us to get other players who can do that. So for Saka's backup, it's not bad. I'm not trying to say backup maybe to insult. I'm not something maybe to insult him. I'm not trying to do that. But someone that is naturally left-footed, can cut in, you can take on hand. So imagine you playing a game, Saka is coming out like 80th, 75th, 60 something. Madueke is coming on. The defender is like, what's going on? Do you understand? So it's a good buy for me, and the fans should just give him a bit of time. To be honest.
Okay, because if you look at the social media, especially on X, there's a lot. There was a meltdown prior to when we heard about the rumor. The here we go,
Yeah.
there was a meltdown. Nobody wanted Madueke, and the context here is not because of Madueke. Why am I calling him Madueke? Madueke is our boy. You know, not because of Madueke as a player himself, but it's because of the club where he's coming from. Because there was a narrative that it now looks as if we pick players from Chelsea. Looking at transfers that has happened before the Madueke signing, Jorginho joined. We picked Sterling last season. It didn't work out. So, but what's your take on? Do you think the fans like? For me, I'm of the opinion any player that joins the team, we need to back that player up. But I know that a lot of Arsenal fans, majority of Arsenal fans, were not happy with the Madueke signing. What's your own thoughts on that signing?
Well, I think that most Arsenal fans initially reacted based on the fact that we were signing another player from Chelsea. Most importantly, the fact that Mikel Arteta himself is signing another player from Chelsea. And obviously, Arsenal fans were thinking to themselves, oh, aren't there other wingers in this world? Why do you have to go for a winger that's coming from Chelsea? And I think to make things worse, Madueke was also getting criticism from Chelsea fans. And the Chelsea fans were more than happy to see him leave. And then when you see that the club that a player is coming from, when you see that the fans are happy that he's leaving, it doesn't really look well. That's just the truth. But for me, I thought about it, and business-wise, honestly, it made sense because if not Noni Madueke, then who else? The other best options in terms of cover for Saka, Brian Mbeumo, Mohamed Kudus, right? Anthony Elanga. But you see, these three players I've mentioned, none of them would have wanted to come to Arsenal to want to challenge Saka for that position, probably because they don't want to be sitting on the bench. And then also their price tags. When you consider how much these players were sold for, the Noni Madueke deal then seems like a huge bargain. Elanga was sold to Newcastle for £55 million. Kudus was sold to Spurs for £60 million. Mbeumo, his total package is more than £71 million. And then Arsenal got Noni Madueke for £50 million with £3 million in add-ons, which eventually Arsenal would pay considering what the criteria is for those add-ons. So for me, it made sense. Also, let's talk about the player. Yes, Noni Madueke doesn't have the best of stats when it comes to goals and assists, but let's talk about how he impacts the game. He's topping the Premier League charts in terms of 1v1 dribbles. He's topping the Premier League charts in terms of the number of shots created by an individual. He's topping the Premier League charts in terms of take-ons as well. He's in the top three, in all top three, top five in all of these criteria that I've mentioned. This player is 23 years old. He's got experience from Holland, from international football, playing with England. He's made his debut for the first team already, and he's been playing for Chelsea for what, the past almost 3 years. He's got a lot of experience for someone who's 23 years old, and he's played a lot of football. And for him to say, you know what, I like the challenge that has been presented to me. I want to come to Arsenal because there's a possibility of me playing both on the left and the right wing. I can challenge my friend Bukayo Saka for that position. That's top mentality to me. That's top mentality to me, and that shows me that this guy wants to prove something. He wants to prove the haters right. You were talking about the reaction of Arsenal fans and them having a meltdown. It was so bad that some people started a petition. Some An Arsenal fan started a petition.
Yeah, yeah,
Started
I
a
saw that.
petition to let
Yeah, I
Madueke.
saw that.
It's
Mm,
ridiculous. Like he really did not
yeah.
even need to get to that extent. But
Mm.
just like you said, for me, once any player is signed by the club,
Hi.
I don't care. I'm going to get
Mm,
behind you immediately. And
yeah.
I like what I see from Noni really. And I know that Arteta and his coaching staff have the ability to make him the final product. Look at Bukayo Saka today. He didn't just get to where he is all of a sudden. You
Mm,
saw the steady
mm,
progression under Mikel Arteta. So I'm happy because Noni already has a lot of qualities that Saka honestly did not have when Saka came into the team. Noni has no weak foot, you know, and he's never afraid to take on his man. He doesn't need space. He creates the space for himself. So for me, at the end of the day, it's a good signing, and we needed quality in depth. And I think Noni coming on makes a lot of sense. Max Daman is 15. He's not going to be playing regular games for us. Ethan Waneri is seen
yeah.
as a number 10, not a winger, which I agree
Not a
with.
winger, yeah.
Yeah, which I agree with
Mm.
as well. Reece Nelson is on his way to Fulham. So quality in depth, that's absolutely fantastic. Kudos to Andrea Berta and the board for getting that deal done. And I think Madueke will be a success at Arsenal.
Yeah, but we're being told is Saka's backup. We all know Saka needs that backup. Saka needs rest. We shouldn't overload him due to the procedure he went through after going, getting injured. And looking at our preseason thus far, the first game against AC Milan and today's game against Newcastle. At the time we're having recording this, we already played Newcastle on 1-3-2, and there's a certain Martinelli that occupies the left wing, right? What I saw today, the left wing, like the transfer window thus far, has covered a lot defensively in the midfield and the attack. But the left wing is still left to be handled. I know we're still going to come to EZE later on. But EZE coming in himself, he's not a left wing player. Even if he can play in that position, he's a natural 10. He's someone that can play as a right 10 or a left 10, depending on how the manager depends to deploy the tactics. I'm not comfortable with EZE playing on the left wing. But I feel that left hand side of the midfield needs to be sorted. Seeing Trossard start today, seeing Martinelli coming on board or substituting and coming in, I didn't see anything. I really didn't see anything from that left wing. And I would really want that left wing to be sorted. But Noni, we've seen Noni play from the left wing. Is that a way of, you know, making Martinelli or coming in to replace Martinelli? Even if we've been told that he's going to be a backup to Saka, but looking at how things are going, Martinelli not stepping up,
Hmm.
Trossard, we wouldn't want to depend on Trossard for the entire season in all competition.
Yeah.
Do you see Nani gravitating to that left hand wing, left hand side of the pitch and taking ownership of it?
Am I to answer?
Yeah, yeah. Anybody can go.
Oh, okay, okay. So, I the few times I've watched Nani play on the left, is that like decent runs? The positive part will be that he'll be able to pull out crosses easily. He's left footed, so taking in his crosses on time, Gyökeres in the box. The combination shouldn't be too bad. Like I can see some one or two things, but if Arsenal feels that they have the money to get a proper left winger, then it's good for us. But I feel we'll have to sell one person. no matter what. We need to sell one person because game time is going to differ a lot, and these guys are going to the World Cup, so
Yeah,
everybody wants, yeah, they want to have an assurance that even if I'm not starting, I'm not too left behind, so that my chances for the national team doesn't get affected. So I would say that we should this season Ateta would have, to me, it's a good thing, but we'll have like an headache of like a lot of puzzling. We would want to try one or two things. I was reading something and someone was saying he wanted to maybe use Madueke as like a Rafinha kind of escape or
Mm.
the formation. We see what Rafinha does. Madueke, if he builds his game, he may not maybe like short power and some things, but he has it in him too. You understand? Rafinha has those things that he does come from the middle. Someone was saying maybe, but it depends on Arteta solely because he's the one that doesn't need to be too rigid. We know him in the way he does his subs and what I know is, I think it in a way I'm seeing that he's like drifting into a different part of his managerial, you know, career because he's like expanding a bit. Today with Newcastle, you could see him starting Ethan. You understand? I like the fact that he's making him understand that okay, fine. Some games you would have to start, even if Odegaard is not fully fit or one or two things, prepare you down man too, giving him those chances. So I feel that Ateta will be able to try Madueke on the left once or twice, no matter what. We need to because football is anyhow it happens, just make it work. That's just it. So, and I hope that Madueke will come out good for us. The only issue I have is the price. I feel you should have maybe gotten it for like let's say like a
something lesser than the
yeah,
48 million we bought him. Yeah.
but with the add-ons are not bad because they are still
Mm.
spread out. So good thing for us, yeah. But Arsenal fans we get very emotional with it. So a lot of things were just packing up, and I wasn't too happy about the things I saw online. But it's all good. Everybody wants
Well,
to be the best.
well, I just want to post something here. I might
Yeah,
please correct me if okay, correct me if an Oliver twist here. I love this
okay.
transfer window. It's the best ever. I'm not going to lie to
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
but I still feel the club needs to show a bit of ambition, more ambition to what we've done. I don't know why. I'm just scared about that left wing, that left hand side of the midfield. I'm just scared. Even when you bring in EZE, it still doesn't cut it because we're still playing someone who is not a natural winger. Rafael Leao, seeing what he has done in AC Milan, is it bad if Arsenal go ahead and make a bid for him or try to bring him in? Mustafa said something that we have to sell at this point. We just heard this evening Liverpool agreeing with Bayern Munich for Diaz,
yeah,
65
yeah,
million pounds,
yeah.
and Chelsea agreeing with Al Nassr for Yao Felix for 55
Yeah,
million pounds.
yeah.
And Arsenal, the highest record we've sold is Balogun to where? This
Monaco.
French club, Monaco,
One
38
of them.
million pounds. Is even up to 38, 35 million
No, I think
pounds.
It will be to Everton was how much? It was almost 40 now.
Yeah,
40.
actually, I think Iwobi is the most expensive. Actually, I
Iwobi
think
is the most
Okay.
Iwobi was
expensive
about
one.
40
Yeah,
million
I
pounds.
remember that
Yeah,
particular transfer to Everton.
So is it is this not a good time? Is this not a good time to cash in on Martinelli and Trossard? Cash
yes,
in on Martinelli and Trossard and bring in a natural left winger in Rafael Leao. Am I asking for too much as an
Obviously not.
Arsenal
no,
fan?
no, definitely no. You're not asking for too much, and I should also add the fact that Mikel Arteta himself has said twice in the last couple of weeks that we are still short in positions and we need more players. So even the manager alludes to this fact as well. The manager shares your vision in the sense that we need more players and we need quality in depth. Arsenal's first objective at this moment, since the Gyökeres deal has been sealed, is to start to sell. Prior to Andrea Berta, the truth is that we have, or rather, I would like to say we had a terrible record in terms of how to sell players. I'm hoping that
Sure.
with Berta at the helm, looking at how he has handled negotiations, I would love to think that he also knows how to sell players. And sadly, I think the player that would be easiest to sell between Martinelli and Trossard is actually Leandro Trossard. Trossard is older, and he will be more affordable. At this point in time, Martinelli actually has a market value between 65 million to 80 million pounds. That's why Al Nasser came in with a bid earlier in the summer. But obviously, the player does not want to go to Saudi at this point in his career. He wants to continue in Europe. And just like I said earlier, it's going to be more difficult to sell Martinelli. Sadly, I think Trossard would be sold. Trossard was actually close to being sold to Fenerbahce. Arsenal was asking for a total package of 20 million pounds, but Fenerbahce could not pay that. They then went for Marco Asensio, and signing Marco Asensio from PSG, and considering his wages as well, it's like Fenerbahce saved 5 million euros to be precise, and then now they have Marco Asensio. So to sell Trossard now is going to be based on which club really really wants him. Then again, I did read recently that there might be a turnaround regarding selling both Trossard and Zinchenko. Both players might not be sold anymore, they might be retained. So that means that there has to be an objective to sell Gabriel Martinelli. It's going to be a tough job, but I've been impressed with what I've been impressed with what Berta has done so far. So if he feels he can sell Martinelli, why not? I'm all for it, because I think Martinelli is one player under Arteta that has probably failed to improve in certain aspects, especially with his dribbling and on the ball. You expect him to be looking up.
In today's game, it was abysmal.
Yeah,
Coming in that game against Newcastle earlier today,
exactly,
Martinelli was abysmal.
exactly.
Apologies if I'm too hard on him,
No,
man.
it's the truth.
It was abysmal.
It's the truth. And I've seen a couple of comments from different people, and most people are alluding to the fact that Noni might actually just take Martinelli's position. And then it's possible because Noni can play on both wings. But let's not forget that Martinelli as well can play on the right wing. We saw that last season, if I'm not mistaken, towards the end of the season when Saka wasn't fit. And also 2 seasons ago, towards the end of the season as well, we saw Martinelli playing on the right as well. So maybe we might just have a switch. Maybe Arteta might just tweak the positioning. Maybe Noni on the left and then trying Martinelli more on the right, coming in as a sub for Saka. But talking about options on the left wing, the club's major target is obviously Rodrigo. And to sign Rodrigo from Real Madrid will be a bit difficult. Real Madrid are currently holding out on an offer of 80 million pounds. But my assumption is that the closer we get to the end of the transfer window, I believe Madrid would want to play ball and they'll reduce the asking price. So that's just one aspect. Another thing is his wages. His wage demands at the moment are quite ridiculous. From what I've read, if Rodrigo wants to come to the Premier League, he wants to be on at least £230,000 weekly. With all due respect to him, he's a very, very good player, probably better than our 2 left wingers, but I don't think Rodrigo is actually at that level to be earning that amount, because I've seen him at Madrid. I'm a big Madrid fan, and I've seen spells where Rodrigo just goes silent, he goes cold, he can be inconsistent, But one thing I've noticed in football is that when you join a team where everyone is playing at a really high level, it improves you naturally, especially if you yourself, you want to play, if you want to compete. So playing with other good players brings out the best in a good player as well. So him coming to Arsenal would be good for him when he sees the competition. But the Rodrigo deal is what Arsenal want, but it might not materialize that way. Rafael Leao, on the other way, is actually very affordable. £60 million will land you Rafael Leao. However, AC Milan don't want to let him go. Massimiliano Allegri does not want to let him go. He's made him the vice captain, and he's given him a new position. Basically, he's been given the freedom to do whatever he wants on the pitch. As number 10 now, so he has moved from the left wing to being one of the second forwards. Allegri loves to play 3-5-2, so he's given him a lot of freedom now, and we've seen that in the 2 preseason games, both against Arsenal and Liverpool. We can see the freedom in which he's playing with. And it seems like Leao has been flirting with the Arsenal players. He obviously loves Arsenal. Yeah. I think he's interested in coming to Arsenal. He was one of the first players to like the Gyökeres announcement by Fabrizio, which is very weird from a rival player. So something might be brewing there. But I think those are the 2 options that Arsenal are looking at. Earlier on in the summer, Ademola Lookman was an option for them, but Ademola Lookman was.
I think that's off the table now. Yeah, I think that's off the table.
It's looking like Lookman is now going to Inter Milan. So definitely we need more players. I'm aware that the club is trying to get one more defender. The target was originally Jorel Heto from Ajax, but now it seems to be on his way to Chelsea. So one So aside Eberici, is who's actually coming to play the LCM position, competing with Declan Rice. Arsenal want to sign a winger and they want to sign one more defender. So definitely, you're not Oliver Twist in this situation because we need the depth, we need the quality.
Yes, we need it.
So
We need it.
hopefully they're able to get these players in before the start of the season.
Yeah, for me, 3 games come into mind.
Yeah.
2 seasons ago, Arsenal Crystal Palace when we came back from Dubai. Crystal Palace
Yeah.
at the Emirates, 1-0 from Saka, and Martinelli didn't start that game. And Martinelli coming onto the pitch and scoring 2 goals within the space of 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Second game is Aston Villa 2 seasons ago. No, the 2022-2023 season, where he scored that last goal, jubilating, right? The pass from Fabio Vieira.
Yeah.
And also at the Bernabeu last season, the Champions League, the second goal, rounding up, So for me, yes, I know I've been hard on Martinelli on this show, saying he's a deado. It's absurd. Yeah, saying his performance has been, so crazy, but he still has that strength, right? If we decide to keep him and we bring him in as an utility player, bringing him on in the 80th minute or the 70 something minute where the opponent is tired, maybe the opponent is trying to get a goal and they have all gone ahead, and you bring in someone like Martinelli that has, that legs that can run, stretch the defense, I don't mind. But Martinelli starting the left wing for us next season or this coming season is what I have a question mark over. If we decide to keep him and bring him on, maybe 70 something minutes, playing centrally or playing as a backup or to the striker or something. But don't play him on the left wing, in my own opinion, because really he is not showing any form of improvement in any way. But we're going to leave that to Berta because I'm watching out for Andre Berta. He has done well. So where I would want to judge him is in terms of outgoings, in terms of contract renewals. We know the Saka and the Saliba's contract renewal saga is still pending. And I want Arsenal to be a club. Yeah, I want Arsenal to be a club that sells because we've not been selling. We've not been making profits for the past how many seasons. We don't sell well. And I want that trend to change. Seeing Liverpool selling Diaz 65 million, seeing Chelsea selling, and Arsenal don't even sell close to that. It's so disheartening. But fingers crossed, we're going to see Berta do his magic. And let's see. The window is still to September 1st, and let's see what happens.